Well, spring has come early to the Utah Valley, and we've been spending so much time outside. And while I'm thankful for the flexibility that homeschooling has offered in these kinds of times, it is definitely hard to make ourselves go inside, get our books out, and do school when we need to and when the weather is so beautiful. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to share this week in our video, I definitely wanted to share all of the fun we've been having outside. We've been discovering the plants in our new home that we didn't know about because this is our first spring here in the Utah Valley. And then I was also thinking about homeschooling and what I would say to someone who, like me, was thinking of pulling their kids out of school and starting to homeschool multiple grades at one time. I remember well how overwhelming it felt, but also that I had an overwhelming desire to be home with my girls and learning together as a family. So I decided I would make this video have two purposes: to share some scenes from our first spring weeks and also my biggest piece of advice to someone thinking about homeschooling this fall. After a week or so of warm weather, the girls begged me to pull out their summer clothes and shoes, and it was like Christmas morning. The girls love getting their new clothes, new to them, and the older girls love to tell their younger sisters about how much they loved these outfits when they were their size. And I am personally looking forward to doing laundry with summer clothing after a long winter of lots of sweatpants, jeans, and hoodies to wash every week. We were able to have one last ski day this past Monday, which was made extra special by some Georgia friends who came out for the weekend. We were kind of worried there wouldn't be enough snow to ski because we've been having so much warm weather, and there were some avalanche warnings, but they did get one last full day of skiing in before the season ended. And I personally have been so happy for the longer evenings, being able to spend them outside, eating lots of later dinners, and then going outside for the evening and working in the yard.
I know that this time of year, many of you may be thinking about school for next year. And if you're like me, at some point in your children's lives, you considered homeschooling them. Now, I have a different story than those moms that just started homeschooling from the beginning and have only done that. I homeschooled my oldest daughter for first grade, and then my girls all attended a private school for 4 years. So then when I did decide to bring them home and homeschool, I was jumping into 4 different grades. And that was a lot. That was overwhelming, and it definitely was all-consuming when we first started, and still kind of is. But I want to share with you what was the number one thing that worked for me in helping me get ready for homeschooling. So if I were you and you were thinking about homeschooling next year, I would say to find a real-life friend whose personality is similar to yours and whose home reflects imperfectly, but what you would like your home to look like. And then I would ask her or him what they do for homeschooling, and I would copy it exactly. So that is my number one piece of advice, and I know it works because I've lived it out. I had a friend who had 4 girls, and her oldest daughter was a little bit older than my oldest, and she had been homeschooling for a while, and I asked her what she did for homeschooling. We had similar interests, similar personalities. Our girls enjoyed similar things, and I literally copied exactly what she does. And I am still doing most of what she recommended to me and what I started out doing because I loved it. At one point I switched to a different math, and this friend had moved overseas. And when I chatted with her, I found out that we had both switched our kids to the same math program without knowing it. So if you have a real life friend that you can ask, I would recommend that over someone on social media or just asking Google in general. The thing about taking homeschooling advice from people you don't know is that you don't see their home, you don't see how it functions, you don't see if it's even something you want to copy. So a lot of people on the internet have opinions and very strong opinions, but you don't see the real life behind those opinions. And so even though your friend may not claim to be a homeschooling expert, I would still listen to them over random people that you don't know. Picking homeschooling curriculum can be super overwhelming. Even I will get the Rainbow Resource Catalog and feel a sense of, wow, this is a lot. And I am so thankful that I followed my friend's advice and tried out those things first, and then grew from there in deciding what I wanted to change or what I wanted to keep. So that is my number one piece of homeschooling advice. Find a mentor, someone you know in real life, someone that has a similar personality to you, someone that you want to copy, ask what they're doing, and try it out for yourself, and then grow from there.
That
What do you think about that? Are you happy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you like homeschooling? Yeah. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Violin.
You want to be a what?
A violin.
A violin?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So, with our free time, and we haven't been homeschooling, and mostly in the evenings, we've been working on the first of many projects we have planned for our yard. We bought some bricks when we moved into our house for a great price, and they've just kind of been sitting in a pile, and we are finally using them to build some raised kitchen beds for me to plant in. I'm not sure yet what I will use them for. I definitely want to do some herbs, and we thought about filling one with strawberries. I will probably do some tomatoes and peppers in the other one. And I thought about it being more of a kitchen garden area where I can just easily pick things out that I need for dinners. And I love the idea of doing one of those cattle panel archways between two of the beds and doing some green beans or another type of vine. But we shall see. Long term, we definitely want a bigger garden that's out beyond the fruit trees, but I think this is all I will be tackling with food growing for this year. I haven't had much experience growing food yet in Georgia. I had a small space and I felt like the humidity and huge amounts of rain made growing some vegetables harder. So I usually would just give up and focus on flowers. And I did have good success with tomatoes, so I'll definitely want to do those again. We officially finished one of the beds today, and hopefully Josh will be able to add to the others soon. Beatrix has come in most nights absolutely filthy from playing in the dirt, and the older girls have all taken on the role of mortar mixers for Josh as he lays the bricks. We have lots of other projects we want to try and do outdoors this first full summer at our new home, and we plan on sharing all of those adventures soon.
Right there.
Then how do we open it?
Oh, be careful.
Just go all the way.